What up, y'all? Randy Silver here with the Gridiron Round-Up on Randy Silver TV with your Week 7 college football preview. News, stories, rankings, matchups, analysis. We have a doozy of a week for you. Biggest game of the week up in Seattle, Washington. Game day is going to be there. University of Washington versus Oregon. National title contender implications. Both teams are undefeated. This will matter for Pac-12, who goes to the championship game, and for that title contender for the national title. USC Notre Dame, other biggest game of the week. We're going to dive into both of them, of course, but you know what that game's all about? The history, the love. Cardinal Red, USA Blue, in Notre Dame. It's going to be a packed house, 100,000 people there. It's going to be an atmosphere like no other. You don't want to miss it. We're going to preview it. Let's dive into everything you need to know for this week in college football. Deion Sanders calls late start times the stupidest thing ever. Why is that? It's because when the game starts at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. West Coast time, that's 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Eastern. I was watching on the East Coast in Florida the USC versus Arizona game last weekend. Went to triple overtime. Not one, not two, three. And you know what time that game ended on the East Coast? 2:30 a.m. Oh my God. I'm from California. I grew up watching USC, so I'm down to watch it. Most people probably aren't. I had to get up early Sunday morning to take a train ride, so I did not get much sleep. But it was worth it because fight on, baby. USC won. But people aren't going to want to watch that. Deion, Coach Prime here, what does he say? What am I supposed to do with my team? Have them sit in a hotel room all day waiting for the game? He wants those 5 p.m., 6 p.m. He wants those early Saturday morning game times. He does not want 8 o'clock. Who makes these 8 o'clock games? Stupidest thing ever. Hopefully, for his 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. West Coast time game, he'll get his star wide receiver, Travis Hunter, back. He could play against Stanford. As a friendly reminder, in the game against Colorado State, he got hurt. He took a hit. Messed up his ribs, internal organs there, needed to take a couple weeks off of rest, and hopefully he'll be back. Stanford's not good. They don't need him to win, to be honest. They should win regardless based off the teams they played, how they played them and they won. Stanford got destroyed by like almost every game they played so far. Just with the talent Colorado has, they should win this game. If you give them Travis Hunter back, it should be a domination. So hopefully they'll be able to get this W. This would make them on the season 5-2 if they win this weekend. Their plus minus for total wins on the season was 3. So they are overperforming in the eyes of analysts and the people who vote. But Colorado, if they go 5-2 and they win this game, that means they're one game away from bowl eligibility already. Fantastic for them. Turning to some sad news. Nothing funny here. This is extremely tragic. Northwestern State's Ronnie Caldwell dies in the shooting. A junior safety on the football team. He died from injuries suffered when he was shot multiple times, said the police in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Caldwell was 21. Northwestern State competes in the Southland Conference, canceled his game Saturday at Nicholas as a result of his death. A statement from the coach. Ronnie Caldwell was a young man who had a bright future ahead of him on and off the field. He was our voice in the locker room. When Ronnie spoke, others listened. The respect our football team had for Ronnie was evident. He did not play a snap this year because of an injury, but his voice resonated with every member of our team from the first player to the 115th on our roster. Our hearts are broken and ache for Ronnie's family and friends whose loss will be felt here at Northwestern State in Natchitoches and in his hometown. We will treasure the time we spent with Ronnie and the memories we made, and we will hold him and his family in our hearts as we attempt to move forward in the days and the weeks ahead. Wish them all the best. Rest in peace, Ronnie, to the Caldwell family, friends, everybody around the football program. We extend our condolences here on the Gridiron Roundup towards you, towards the football program. We'll keep you updated if anything comes out with the story in the future. Sad news here. Never want to, see anybody die, especially in the manner of this matter. A quick preview of the college football rankings. Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Florida State, and Oklahoma rounded the top 5 in the AP Top 25. In the coaches poll, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and then Florida State, Penn State are your top 5. Washington 6th in that, while Washington 7th in the AP poll. We'll just scroll down so you can see the rest. Again, Washington, Oregon are playing today, 7-8 in AP top poll. And then Washington, Oregon, 6-8 in the coaches poll. Also this weekend, you have USC versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame is 21st, so you got 10 versus 21. And then here you have USC 9th. Notre Dame is 21st. So two big key matchups there that you're going to see. Also, just week 7, baby. All these teams got to keep winning. And if they win, they continue on. If they lose, they'll probably follow these top 25. So let's show you some of the other matchups. Georgia Vanderbilt, SEC. Georgia should walk over that game. Indiana, Michigan. Michigan should walk over that game as well. Ohio State, Purdue. Purdue usually plays Ohio State well, but Ohio State is just too powerful. They should win that game. Florida State should put Syracuse home easily. Syracuse is off to a nice start at 4-2, but you see here they're 0-2 ACC. Should not be able to compete with Florida State. Alabama, Arkansas. Alabama has bounced back well from that loss to Texas. This should be an easy win for them against Arkansas. SEC opponent. Sometimes put up battles, but Alabama should win. Utah, California. Last time this matchup will be happening as Utah is going to the Big 12 while California is going to the ACC. We'll see when they play again. Utah should win this game pretty handily as well. UMass versus Penn State. Penn State should walk over this game. Biggest game of the day. Oregon, Washington, game day. We're going to preview this game for you. 5-0, 5-0, 2-0 in Pac-12 each. A&M, Tennessee. This should be a fun game. Jimbo Fisher of Texas A&M is definitely on the hot seat. Can Tennessee go and get this W at home? If they do, 5-1 on the season, 1-1 the SEC. Then becomes 2-1 the SEC. Texas A&M, sayonara sucker. Your season will be over in terms of trying to do anything in the SEC. Kansas State, Oklahoma State should be a fun game. Louisville, Pittsburgh is always a very big game, especially in the part of the area with Pennsylvania and Kentucky next to each other. Arizona, Washington State. We'll see how Arizona rebounds from the triple overtime loss to USC. Can they go into Pullman and beat Washington State? It'll be a big test for them. Auburn, LSU is usually a fun game. Auburn's lost a couple close games this season. LSU's won a couple close games. Both teams don't play much defense. You can see the over-unders at 60 points. LSU is an 11-point favorite. Other biggest game of the day, USC, Notre Dame. On NBC, 7:30 p.m., prime time at night in South Bend, Indiana, Notre Dame, Indiana. Let's go. We're going to preview that game. Miami, North Carolina, massive ACC matchup. Miami's 0-1 ACC, while North Carolina is 2-0. We'll preview that game for you. And then finishing out top 25, Missouri, Kentucky, UCLA, Oregon State. We're going to preview that game. Massive Pac-12 matchup as well. That's at 8 p.m. start time. Again, 11 p.m. Eastern start. Oh, Deion Sanders would not be happy. And then NC State versus Duke. Here are the other games going on. So when does Deion actually play? We mentioned it, but just showing you all again. We have some Tuesday games this week. You can see them right there. UTEP's Florida International. Sam Houston, New Mexico State played on Wednesday. Here are your Wednesday's games currently happening. And then, Thursday games. And then Friday, Stanford, Colorado, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific in Boulder. Colorado's starting to get a bit colder, so it'll be a bit breezy at night, but it should be a fun game nonetheless. Here are all the games so you can check it out and what TV station you can watch them on. All the big D1 conferences. So let's scroll for you. Oops, sorry about the camera. Cool. Let's preview some games for you. Be on our way. As we talked about, Oregon, Washington's the biggest game. This is really a toss-up. 55-45. Oregon predicted the win. Game will be at Husky Stadium. Could be a chance of rain there. Seattle weather up and down. You can see here that Washington's a 3-point favorite in the betting lines by Caesar. However, we look at matchup probability by ESPN. They think Oregon's going to win. So that's why it's really a toss-up. 70,000 fans. You know it'll be that crowded. Washington versus Oregon in terms of the states. Big rivalry. You got Seattle versus Portland. All those that go into it. So this will be a big game. And then in the big game, you need big players. And the no one bigger in this game than Bo Nix versus Michael Penix Jr. Both Heisman candidates. Penix Jr., people say, is number 1. Bo Nix is probably in the top 10. This could help him with the big win to move up. Penix Jr. gets a big win right here. This might move him up as well. On the season, Nix has almost 1,500 passing yards, 15 touchdowns, only 1 interception. And we know how much he dominated Colorado. One more time. Dominated Colorado. It was not close. Penix Jr., 1 yard away from 2,000 passing yards on the season. 1 yard away. Oh, come on, man. Just give me 1 more yard on a catch. Just give me that yard. But he'll get in this game. We know that. 16 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. When we look at the rushing attack, Irving for Oregon, almost 400 yards rushing, and for Johnson, 204 yards. So we can really see here as both games are really passing attacks. When we look at total passing yards per game, Oregon's averaging 330, while Washington's averaging a whopping 446 yards passing per game. Total offense is very similar, though, because look at the rushing yards Oregon does. Impressive. And then yards allowed defensively, Washington gives up 365 a game, Oregon 255. This game is going to be a shootout. Absolute shootout. I'll be surprised if the under hits. The under is 67. So that means that they're expecting the teams to score probably in the 30 points each. It'd be very surprising if the under hits. The other big game with another Pac-12 team, USC versus Notre Dame, 7:30 p.m. NBC. Notre Dame is predicted to win by a whopping 60 to 40%. However, when we look at the betting analytics, Notre Dame's only a 3-point favorite over under 60. Game time weather is 56. There was videos earlier in the week of USC practicing with hoses and getting their players wet, trying to catch punts, trying to catch catches, playing in the rain in case it rains in South Bend. It looks like it may not, but you never. When we look at the last 5 games, USC barely beat Arizona with that triple overtime. They were rocking Colorado in the first half and let Colorado come back. And the other games, they haven't really played much. They have not really played much. When we look at Notre Dame, lost to Louisville relatively handily, beat Duke in a very close, fun matchup, lost to Ohio State on the final play of the game, and then won their other games. So there's really a lot of opportunity here for USC to make a name for themselves, beat Notre Dame as a good team, but also Notre Dame to show, hey, we're a really good team. We lost some close games. We deserve to continue to be in the national title contention. Probably won't be with 2 losses, but hey, if they can win out from here, we've seen weirder things happen. This game itself, look at the total yards allowed for USC, 421. We talked about in the ticker, if you can see it, Lincoln Riley says he's not really concerned with the defense. I mean, come on, you have to be. Look how many yards they're giving up, and look how they were able to let Colorado back in the game. Arizona start 17-0 up on USC. They need to do better. Offense, Caleb Williams will take them to the promised land, but defense needs to hold this bargain. 2 other games, Miami, North Carolina. North Carolina is predicted to win basically again 60-40. When we look at the stats here, are the Hurricanes back? We'll find out after this game. They're 4-1, 0-1 in conference. If they want to stay anywhere towards the ACC title game, they need to beat this game against North Carolina, who's 2-0 in conference. Again, this is going to be a look at that total yards per game. Offensively, 500 basically per team. Defensively, 335. North Carolina, 268. So which offense will get the better? You can see here there's not a lot of defense playing in college. A lot of yards being given up. Here are the records. And finally, Oregon State is expected 70% to 30% to beat UCLA. 8 p.m., 11 p.m. Eastern game in Oregon. Where in Oregon? No, not Eugene. It's going to be Corvallis. Oregon State, minus 3.5 favorites. 54 is the line. Again, the other game we said it was like 70, so you can see the difference. When we look at total yards, extremely similar. 459 to 449 yards allowed. 254 to 325. UCLA's got a nice defense. Finally, someone playing defense. So we'll see how UCLA does in this game against a high-powered Oregon State offense. Oregon State's 2-1 in the conference, while UCLA is 1-1. This will be big for the Pac-12 title game. And we'll have everything for you at the end of the weekend on Sunday, talking about these results and who did well and who did not. That's your college football week 7 preview. Come back on Sunday and we'll have your review for you. We'll go over all the scores, storylines, stats, updates, and we'll have the new updated coaches poll and AP poll for you as we do every week. Go ahead and subscribe here so you can see Gridiron Roundup notifications. We also have Hoops Roundup, we have MMA Roundup, we have European Football Roundup, and so much more around sports. Thank you for watching. Enjoy college football this weekend, and we'll see you Sunday. Deuces.